Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Collection Management, Essential Tools of 2021 with us here at Artwork Archive. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. A few housekeeping items before we jump into the webinar. We'd love to know who is on this webinar. So we have a poll. It should have just popped up on your screen. Emily, did you cue it? Great, perfect. Please take the time to just fill it out, select what best fits you. Apologies if you fit into the other camp, but we'll review this after the intros. Another housekeeping item, this webinar will be recorded. You probably got the Zoom voice letting you know. So we will send out the recording in the next 24 hours after the presentation. And we will also send out the slides because we included some helpful links within the slides. So you will have that as a resource as well. And we save time for questions and product recommendations if you have any for us at the end of the presentation. So please use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen to submit questions. We'll be utilizing that at the end to go over them. And if you have any questions or tech needs, feel free to contact us in the chat as well. And this is to go over our general industries, but if you would like to introduce yourself, your name, the group that you represent, and where you're from, we would love to hear that as well. So before we start, I'll provide a brief overview of Artwork Archive. We are an online art collection management system used by artists, collectors, and organizations of all sizes all around the world to help them organize, manage, share, and preserve their artworks and their art collections. And who are the people behind the webinar? I am Elysian McNiff. I am the head of growth here at Artwork Archive. I'm the daughter of artists, of art therapists, of art educators. So the creative process has always been in my blood. I've worked in the arts ever since I graduated from college, from Middlebury College over 10 years ago. And an expedited version of my CV is that I've worked in art museums, I've run a public art program, made online art classes, served as curator, wrote for art publications, and I received my master's in public humanities at Brown. So pursuing my passion to make cultural heritage culture more accessible to all. And because of this background, I focus primarily with our nonprofit clients. And with that, I'll let Emily introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Trice, and I'm the head of collector and gallery relations here at Artwork Archive. I'm also the art market editor, and my writing has been published online by Art Forum, ArtNet, the New York Times, and the Paris Review, among other outlets. But my real professional background is in the for-profit art sector. So I've worked for commercial galleries for 15 years. I was managing galleries in Berlin, Germany, Aspen, Colorado, New York City, of course. And I've worked for the biggest gallery in the world, Gagosian, and also probably the smallest gallery in the world. So I have years of experience with art collectors of all types and galleries of all sizes, as well as art collections of all sizes. So thanks for coming and joining us today.
Yeah, and it looks like the poll results are in, if you want to recap them, Emily.
So it looks like we have quite a few nonprofit arts administrators, 26%. We have 17% museum professionals, 13% art advisors, 1 collector, 2 corporate collections managers, and 2 gallery managers, and 22% are other. So thanks everybody for sharing your jobs with us.
Yeah, we wanted to get a just an understanding so that we have planned out what we want to speak to, but we want to make sure that we are speaking to everyone's needs in this presentation. So I'm going to stop the sharing of the poll, and we'll get into our presentation. All right, so I just wanted to share a brief roadmap of what we will cover in this webinar because it is the first webinar of this type that we have done, reviewing our year's product releases. And so I'll quickly cover some collection management related themes that we've seen over the past year that helped inform our product releases and updates that we made to the platform for collectors and collecting organizations. And then woven within those slides, we will also discuss ways to work faster and more efficiently with these new tools that we have provided, with some great examples from some of our clients. We also want to save time at the end for Q&A and your product wish list for 2022. Ooh, that's a hard year to say. I don't think I've said it out loud in a while. And so, yeah, so we'd love to hear what within the platform can help you and your collection. So a lot of words, again, why we're sharing the slides at the end of this presentation. The interesting thing is this is a slide from 2020 that I included in my past presentations. And fortunately, unfortunately, however you look at it, a lot has not changed in 2021. A lot rings true. So on the left hand, we have the challenges collectors and collecting institutions have faced. On the right side, some of the solutions. So collectors and collecting institutions are facing challenges around organization, wrapping their arms around their collection. And the good news is that we're seeing more and more individuals and groups taking the time to digitize and organize and manage their collections, creating peace of mind with accessibility to data and knowing that they are preserving their legacies, whether an individual or an organization. Access also became paramount during the pandemic with closed doors and social restrictions, social distancing measures rather. And honestly, COVID was the kick in the pants that a lot of us needed to get online and make the switch to digital. So many groups did that with their organizations. Also, we saw limited resources, so that may have been budget, staffing, operational budget. Honestly, again, not something unique to the pandemic, something that nonprofits have faced for many years. But COVID definitely accentuated it and made it harsher. So luckily, on the right-hand side, we are seeing that innovative solutions from platforms like ourselves, creating tools more affordably and accessibly, but also innovations from our clients when it comes to online fundraising and being able to collaborate with the teams that they have. Lastly, the rise of natural disasters, definitely have seen that over the past years. And so groups and individuals getting their emergency preparedness plans in place to better protect and preserve their cherished artworks and collections. So as I mentioned earlier, cloud-based tools, cloud-based everything became paramount in the past year or two. It became the norm in 2021. We all became more reliant on technology in all aspects of our lives, not only just with our CMS. And so within the past year, we saw a number of themes arise when it comes to collection management needs and innovations. And so that is shown on the right-hand side. Accessibility, not just for the public, but also for your team, being able to access information, data, tools. Collaboration, mostly remote or a hybrid model. New fundraising and revenue methods as people have to get scrappy or utilizing online tools that they did not have before. And lastly, data security. When things are cloud-based, data security becomes even more important. All right, so let's get into the meat of the presentation, what you are all here for. So I should start this with saying an entire presentation could be on just online exhibitions. It was a tool that we released earlier in 2021. Over the past 2 years, nonprofits and galleries around the world had to quickly pivot and bring their exhibitions online in order to stay relevant, connected, and to continue working towards their mission, on their mission. So as doors have been opening and the world returns to in-person activities, we're seeing a hybrid of art experiences, both virtual and physical. And that's because there's a lot of benefits to virtual activities and events and exhibitions. Oops. And so with that, online forums present an opportunity to share without constraints of brick and mortar space. You can share more information. You can embed videos, share artist-related content, and provide more historical context with an online exhibit from Artwork Archive. The internet is limitless, and you have a lot of opportunities to share information. A few of our clients, like Arts and Health at Duke, the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art, and the San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles, have been using these online exhibitions to exponentially expand their outreach. So I'm going to click into one of those exhibitions. So here I am on the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art's public profile. And as you can see on the left-hand side, we have an exhibitions tab. So this is their public-facing online exhibition that they have created. You can see the title, when it is on view, and where. We have this carousel, so you can include installation shots. You can also embed videos. So if I click back into their exhibitions, I actually have a great example from another exhibition of theirs, in which if I scroll through, great detail shots, great community engagement, and then you can see that there is an embedded video that plays right from their carousel, keeping the viewer on the page. They provided wonderful details about the exhibition, and they've even included an audio file. And so there's a lot of great different types of resources that you can include and share out. You're not limited to just images, a lot of multimedia opportunities. You can see the artworks within the exhibition. So if I click in, I can learn more about a piece. And if I click back, you can also see the artists that are participating in the exhibition. If I click into Brent, I see the artwork of theirs, as well as a wonderful bio about the artist. And so I've heard from the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art that they're really excited about this feature because it also helps them stand up community shows for artists within their community. And so they don't need a lot of staff, they don't need a lot of funding. They can quickly put up just a virtual show for those artists that are within Las Vegas. And another piece of it too is that with these online exhibitions and the public profile, when you have these artist records, you are preserving the legacy of the artists in your collection, whether living or deceased. And we know, we've heard from contemporary artists that they really appreciate this additional exposure, this additional marketing tool for them. The exhibition is not just up and done. There is a lasting impression that they have with your community. And so as you can see here, we can see the artworks of Rita's within the Barracks Museum of Art and her bio. I also have another great example to show you. If I click into this exhibition by Duke, the Arts and Healthcare, it's a hospital art program. They use their online exhibitions for fundraising, and they sell artworks. And they've actually tripled their art sales by having this online component. It used to just be physical, but as we know, there's a lot of limitations, not being able to go into space. But even without that, they can expand their reach. They've had sales outside of their geographical area, really lovely, and people can purchase the artwork directly from their public profile. Another engagement tool, or rather another way that online exhibitions help you engage with your community is voting. So the Gifts of Art program, Michigan Medicine, has actually had people vote for their favorite work using the inquire button. And they likewise have seen the engagement triple on this voting methodology that they use. They have a staff exhibit and people vote for their favorite artworks. And yeah, they said that they went from 200 votes to nearly 600. So online exhibitions can be your friend. If I go back to my slideshow, You can also use the exhibitions tool to manage your upcoming exhibitions and archive them as well and build out a great archive of all of the exhibitions that your organization has put forth. And so you can see this in action. If I click in to exhibitions, right here on your left-hand side for you organization plans, you'll see the exhibitions tab. You can create a new exhibition by clicking this button. The only field that is required is the title of your exhibition. You can make it a solo or a group show, add contact information. You can track if it's an on-site or just an online or perhaps a traveling show. And if it's traveling, you can note the location as well as if it's on site. Important dates. And one thing to pause right here is these dates are then located and viewable on your schedule. So helping you keep on track. You can create exhibition rooms. So these are essentially thematic groupings for your exhibition. So if it's a solo show for an artist, it could be their early career, mid-career, their legacy. Here's where you can add those carousel images or multimedia links. And then after you create the exhibition, then you'll be prompted to add the artworks to it. And so using your similar logic that you utilize within Artwork Archive of creating reports, creating private rooms, you can just add the pieces into your exhibition. And then you will have a great summary, an overview, a place for various colleagues or volunteers to go in and see information about the exhibitions. And then if you have any inquiries of past exhibitions in the past years, you can quickly find the information and share it with whomever is asking. And so that exhibitions is a big, meaty tool. We were really excited to launch this past year because it solves so many pain points and helps organizations, get your mission, your artworks, your artists out there. And so again, we are going to be sharing these slides. There's a lot of great further reading about how our clients have been utilizing this tool and how you can implement it within your own artwork archive organization account. So there's some helpful help docs there. Emily, did I leave anything out? Anything that's top of mind?
I think you covered everything. Although, of course, like you said, we could do an entire presentation just on those exhibitions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quickly talk about private rooms. And Larissa, I saw you in the chat, and this is a great feature for you and all advisors, appraisers, and consultants. So private rooms are a function that we technically released about 2 years ago. And this feature is available to Collector Plus and Premier plans and all organization plans. So this year we added the addition of artist filters and artist bios to private rooms. And as Elysian mentioned, there's also purchase requests and inquiry buttons. So I'm just going to quickly show you some examples here. And this is a collector demo account. So if you make a private room, you have the option to password protect it. You can decide what you want to share and what you don't. As with almost all of our reports, we have all these options of buttons you can click. You can show inquire buttons, purchase buttons, and you can also password protect here. So when this is shared, you would give somebody the password, and I'll show you, you can click into this. So now it's beautiful, interactive, no more need to share PDFs or resize them. Here's the inquire button. Down here is the artist information, and you can quickly scroll through. We also have the option, as I mentioned before, you can sort by artist so that if you're sending a room with dozens and dozens of pieces, then the recipient can quickly scroll through and find the artist they're most interested in. So what's great about these is that you can also share them with entire contact groups. And we're going to talk about this in the next slide. And so I can send this room, for example, to all my VIP clients for your consideration. Send it, and it will show up here everyone that I've sent it to, so that you'll always know what you shared with whom. And so that's part of our client relationship manager or CRM feature that we've released. And you can also include those video links for sculptural installations, which are a great way to showcase 3D works. So if you're creating a room for possible museum donations, or sending a list of works that are residents to your insurance team, or sending the works that you hope to bequeath to one of your heirs to your estate planner, private rooms are an absolutely fabulous option, very elegant, and a nice high-tech solution in this new digital art world. I know that Elysian also wanted to mention how this tool has been helpful.
Yeah, you covered it so beautifully. I just wanted to add that for nonprofits, it's also a great tool for managing art selection committee processes. So you can send the artworks that are being considered within RFQ to your committee. You can also send for loans and collaborations. And actually, I just saw in the chat, Emily, if you don't mind, a great question from someone new to Artwork Archive about how the online exhibitions pulls the artworks. And I didn't show that, and shame on me, I should have. So before we jump into the CRM, I'm just going to share my screen and show that if you don't mind. Okay. So I was moving quickly. If I go back to an exhibition, I want to create a new exhibition. I'm going to give it a title. I'll just call it the test exhibition. And I'm going to save it because that's all I need to add to make an exhibition. And then here's where you can assign your pieces to the exhibit, and it will pull the artworks that are part of your Artwork Archive account that have been uploaded previously. And we have some great updates about how you can populate your account very quickly in collaboration with your artists. But as you can see, it will pull the artworks that are from your Artwork Archive account. You can use filters to quickly find the artworks that you need. So perhaps you are creating an exhibition for an artist and you want to pull up all of her pieces. You can do that, assign it, and it will be part of that exhibition. So hopefully that answered your question. And thanks, Emily, for letting me jump into that and finishing off that thought. I'll stop my share.
Okay, great. So I'm going to show you all my desktop, apparently.
Yeah.
So let's try it one more time. Okay, so contact relationship management is among the most important administrative duties in the art world. Galleries use CRMs to offer works to their clients. Nonprofit organizations use CRM to solicit charitable donations and engage with their communities. Both for and nonprofit entities can use a CRM to quickly coordinate with large groups of artists. And both entities can also organize their various vendors via a CRM, such as shippers, installers, insurance companies, appraisers, conservators, etc. I'm going to now click into some of our contacts here so I can give you a rundown. So Artwork Archive's CRM is relational, and that means that contacts are hyperlinked across fields. So as soon as you sell an artwork to a contact, they're automatically classified as a client. And then you can see how they're hyperlinked here in the sales record, as well as in the artwork record of the work that they bought. Even better, we have groups now. This is a new feature so that you can quickly group your contacts. And this way, when you're emailing them, instead of having to type out every single email, you can simply select a group and it will email all of them, as well as show you everyone that you have emailed. So the same with clients, the same logic applies to appraisers. So for example, this appraiser, I can see all the works that they've appraised. And when I go into that contact record, I can see their appraisal here. And again, they're hyperlinked. So everything is interconnected and relational across our CRM. When you are working with groups, and this is lovely, if I want to share the private room with my group of VIP clients, all I have to do is click share, go in here, select VIP clients, like I said, send them a message and send, and it will show up here. And then you can go in, see all your shares. And what's even better is you can send yourself a reminder to follow up with people so that you'll never forget. if you have to check in with an important buyer or someone that expressed interest but has not yet sealed the deal. Check in. So these will also show up here. And just for added interoperability, you can connect this to your Google Calendar, Outlook, or iCal. So yeah, I believe that that's that for my section. Alyssa, I'm going to stop sharing and it's back to you. Oh, Alyssa, I think you're muted right now.
Thank you. I knew I was going to do that at one point. What I said was thank you for dealing with the ping pong tournament that is us sharing this presentation, and also that the CRM is great for nonprofits, for your donor tracking, your donor management, and a great example for setting those reminders for an academic institution, say you have an alumni that gives, you can set a reminder to connect with them, around their 10-year reunion. So what I'm going to get into now, we're going to stay in contacts. I'm going to click into an artist record. And I'm going to talk about the direct upload tool. So last year, we released the ability for artists to be able to submit artworks directly into your account. It's called an artist submission form. You enable that on the organization enable that by first and foremost creating a contact record for that artist. And then within the edit function, after you have created it or while you are creating it, you'll see enable artist submissions. And you'd want to check this box and give them a password. And what that does, if I click save, so the system is smart and automatically generates a URL with that password that you can share out to the artist. And they enter it in their browser. They're brought to a form where they can upload artworks, add information about the artworks, and they can also update their contact information. So that's the artist submission form. What we did to update it this year and make it even better and more seamless is that now artists with Artwork Archive accounts can transfer their artworks directly from their accounts into yours. So you would turn on the artist submission ability for that artist, but instead of them being brought to a form and them having to upload, images from their desktop or wherever they have the information saved, for those that have Artwork Archive accounts, for those artists, all they do is select the artworks from their account. And this is great for, exhibition planning, a call, a submission call, if you are coordinating multiple artists within your gallery space, they can just send over the artworks that are going to be part of the show. And that way you don't have to add that information into your account as you are managing and coordinating that exhibition, because you all probably have a lot to do. I'm just trying to look at my notes to make sure that I'm not missing anything within this feature. If I click back into my slides, you'll see that we also have help docs that show you how it works for the artists and for you. And this is very new. We just released it a few weeks ago. I sent out a little update in Intercom, so maybe you've already seen it from me, but we're really excited about this one. I think it's incredible for the arts ecosystem and this relationship between artists and organizations and the transfer of information. Okay, we're going to switch gears here. This is cheating a little bit because our online sales updates were made in 2020. But this past year, we've seen some incredible best practices and uses of this tool by our clients. So we wanted to make sure to include it so that you can have this as part of your toolkit for 2022 with fundraising and revenue sales. Some examples, Arts and Health at Duke, I showed you, they are selling artworks from their exhibitions, from their online exhibitions, and that is the screenshot on top. And what's great is by utilizing Artwork Archive's tools, they can create online invoices directly from the platform. They can respond to purchase requests directly from the Artwork Archive platform. They have an Artwork Archive inbox, and there's also a PayPal integration. So if you have a PayPal account and your client wants to pay via that way, then the funds will be directed right into your PayPal account, and your Artwork Archive account will mark it as paid. And all the information will be stored within your Artwork Archive account, reducing a few steps along the way. And so I'm going to click out and show you what that looks like. So if I go to income, and go to invoices, for those that have an Artwork Archive account, this may not look that different. Just wanted to call out another addition that we just made to the platform, in that you can add additional line items to your invoice now. So if I edit this invoice, right here on the left-hand side, you can see that in addition to the purchase of the artwork, you may want to include the cost of the frame, or if you're a gallery, the cost of installation of the piece, or the cost of shipment, or whatever it may be. And so what's great is that you can keep track of things that are not just the sale of the artwork on your invoices, and make it very easy to get paid for those. I mentioned the PayPal integration as well as managing purchase requests. So all of that can be accessed through your profile icon up here in the upper right-hand corner, or on the left-hand side, you'll see your inbox here. And you'll see you have 3 new messages in your inbox. And these are messages that are coming in either via the public profile or your website embeds. You can embed your public profile, your collections, your exhibitions, your artist pages, all onto your own website, so that, again, everything is synced from your Artwork Archive inventory directly onto your website. But here you can see, who is interested in the piece, and their questions, their inquiries, and if they want to purchase this various moths and butterflies. If I create invoice from here, I can create an invoice right away and send it over to them. Or what's also great is that you can see if the piece is indeed still available, because if you are selling in person, in a physical location, and online, you don't want to sell twice one piece. So if I click into the work, I can see if it is indeed still available. Let me see. Oops, sorry, just clicked into something else as I'm trying to scroll. My screen is not scrolling. That's an interesting, bizarre thing that's happening to my computer. You can be able to see that it is available and then reply to them. Sorry, my mouse seems to be acting wonky. The other thing is, I mentioned the PayPal integration. You can activate that within your Artwork Archive settings. If I click out, perhaps maybe this will help. I have lost the ability to scroll on my page. That is so bizarre. Let me refresh. There we go. Something bugging on my browser. Here we go. Here's the PayPal integration. You just include your PayPal email so that you can receive those payments into your PayPal account. And I got a little distracted with my scrolling not working, so hopefully I made that clear. Let me click into present. We also have an entire help doc section that walks through, if you are interested in setting up your PayPal integration, or if you would like to receive purchase requests into your Artwork Archive account to help field inquiries, you can review how to do that within your Artwork Archive account with the help doc that's included at the bottom, or if you want to add those additional invoice items as well. Okay. Another revenue related item, this past year, we released for organizations revenue and expense tracking. So this gives organizations a more comprehensive financial overview so that you can better understand the financial aspects of your organization or your business and make informed choices. I'm going to click back out and show you the revenue tool. Okay, so revenue and expenses is accessible via this tool, income, on the left-hand side. Here, we'll talk about revenue tracking. So we understand that selling art may not be your only source of revenue. So that with revenue tracking, you can log other service and income types like rentals, merchandise, grants, etc. So we have a few, and if there's not one that's listed, we have an other revenue category, so you can track that. And you'll also save time when it comes to your accounting because we've built in the ability to export reports that can be used for tax season and imported into commonly used accounting programs. So really helpful to track additional revenue. Similarly, we have now an expenses category, expense tracking. So this outlines the true cost of your collection. So you can enter shipping, framing, conservation, photography. You can know the cost of your upcoming exhibition, make the case for increased budget lines for your nonprofit. Gain insight into what you are spending the primary of your budget on, and be able to report back on that. And so at a glance, you can see green, revenue, money coming in, great, awesome. Expenses, red, money coming out, perhaps to storage. And what's also great is these expenses are also found on the artwork record as well. So if I click into this artwork record and scroll down, I can see the expenses for this piece. And then Emily, you had something to share for collectors. I wanted to give you that opportunity.
Thank you. I mentioned in the comments section that the revenue and expense tracking right now is for organization accounts only. But if you have a collector account, we also make it very easy to generate invoices, edit them, share them, track them, and of course, make sure that they're paid. So if anyone has any questions about that, I can go through that at the end of the presentation. But I just wanted to quickly mention that that previous feature is really more for organization accounts.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Okay. Now here is a new feature that is for all organization accounts and for those on the collector premier plan. So you now have access to My Docs in your account. I just said that really high. You have access to My Docs in your account, which is like a digital library for your art collection. You can still add additional files to artworks, to contacts, to locations, to exhibitions, etc. But this tool is for those comprehensive documents that don't really have a perfect home within those tools. Something like your insurance rider, or maybe for the collectors, your estate plan for your entire collection. You can keep track of those within My Docs. So if I just click back into the platform, you will find it here on the left-hand side, My Docs. You can add a document very easily, drag and drop from your desktop, your phone, your tablet, because Artwork Archive is accessible from anywhere. And whenever you see these little blue downward arrows, it means that you can, again, share the document straight from your Artwork Archive account, or maybe download it. Really helpful. And you can also use, as you are adding documents, the sort function to find exactly what you need. Okay. So just a little handy dandy tool.
So this year we made generating reports incredibly easy. So now anytime you want to make a new report, you simply click on the reports tab in the left-hand menu, and you will see this new universal reports button at the top of the screen that says new report. Simply open that, drop it down, choose the report that you want, and everything will of course be stored here in your reports function. So then you can share the report via the CRM, you can download it to your desktop, but just wanted to point out that this button is a new release and it's intended to make generating reports, PDFs, sales offers, you name it, as simple as possible.
Awesome.
And we implemented some tiny tweaks. They're adorable, but will dramatically improve your user experience. So you can now easily view and edit your tags. We heard from a lot of our clients that that was a feature that they really wanted. So this year we were able to implement that. You can now label whether an artwork is installed or in storage in the status update, which you see here on the slide. You can now add captions to images such as photographer credits or other details. You can also add video links from YouTube and Vimeo to individual artwork records. And in terms of price, you can now choose between showing the price label as just price or as market value, which of course would be whatever amount a recent appraisal had assessed the piece for. So those are just a few small things that we did this year that hopefully will increase the user accessibility of the site.
Yeah, and actually, just looking at the slide, just want to clarify that the top image, it speaks to the status updates, which can be accessible in your pieces view. And then below that, you can edit and view your tags, as well as change your preferred price label within account settings. So that screenshot, that account data screenshot, is taken from the account settings section of your account. Okay, some fun stuff. So with increased use and reliance on cloud-based tools comes the need to protect and secure your data. We, as you all know, for those that use Artwork Archive, we use enterprise level security and servers to bring you the highest level of encryption and security and stability to protect your data. But to further protect your data, we released a few features. Again, these feature releases were for all organization plans, standard, plus, and enterprise, and released to our master artist plan and our premier collector plan. So for those that have additional users utilizing their account. And so what were those two releases? Well, we enabled you to be able to activate 2FA. 2FA, what is that? It's essentially a second method of authenticating who you are when you log in. So this could be a text message, receiving a text message and verifying that it is indeed you who is trying to log in. And that is the method that we have selected for Artwork Archive. So you can activate 2FA to make sure that people logging in are indeed the people that should be logging in. And then we also created activity logs. And so activity logs are your best friend. You can see what changes have been done within your account. If I click out and click back into the account, you can see activity right here on the left-hand side. You can filter to see when or what action type was taken. You know, if an intern is afraid that they might have, deleted an account, not to throw an intern under the bus, it could be anyone. You can also view by record type, and you'll also see this activity on the piece. So if I click into, let's see, a work and scroll down, I now see that activity on the record itself. And to backtrack to show you where you activate that two-factor authentication, it is located within your account settings. So just as you use account settings to add additional users onto your account, you can also enable 2FA. And here's where you enter the phone number that should be receiving the text message to authenticate. And you can also enable it for your additional users as well. All right, going back into our slideshow, we're coming to the end. For our clients that are on this webinar, thank you for entrusting us with your collection and giving us the joy of working with you. One of my favorite parts of my job is witnessing how you are all utilizing the platform in different ways to grow your art organizations and to make impact in your communities. And so I also get to hear from you often, which is great. So please continue to reach out and share your experiences. Here are just a few stories from the past year of our clients utilizing these new tools and how it has helped. And off to the fun stuff. So, here is, I'm going to stop my shares. The time when we get to answer your questions and hear from you about what you would like to see within the platform for the upcoming years, how we can be of further help to you all. So with that, let's click into the Q&A.
So I've been doing a bit of moderating while you've been speaking, and I can tell you that there has been a request for other payment integrations such as Square. And I believe that that is like on the docket. And in fact, we're taking feedback to figure out which are the most prioritized that our clients would prefer to have the most. So Larissa, I have noted your feedback. Thank you for that. Additionally, it looks like there was a request to be able to track who had opened a link or viewed an artwork in a private room. And that is something that I also think we're working on developing at the moment. So it should be coming out hopefully next year. Regarding the question on the commission label, Marty, I do feel like just adding a tag commission would be the best way to quickly solve for that. I don't believe that we have a separate way of distinguishing a commission from a sale right now. And then there was one other question. Oh, now there's quite a few. Okay. So the most recent question about adding 3 users on a certain subscription, we do have the option to add additional users for a nominal monthly fee. I'm not entirely sure what that is based on.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, are you referring to a collector account or an organization account? Because I can share my screen and show our pricing page. To Emily's point, if you have hit the max of the number of users on your own account, then we will charge an additional $5 a month per additional user that you need, and we can bill you for that. But if I click into the collector's plan, so if you are on the collector premier plan and you need more than 3 users, that would be an opportunity to reach out to us, and that would be something that we would have to do on the back end. We can add additional users, and then we would charge you $5 per additional user every month. And then on the organization side, number of users that need access to the account is one of the differentiating factors for the organization plan. So within the organization plan, all features are available. The differentiating factors are the number of pieces that you need to track, the number of locations that you need to keep track of, and the number of people that need access to the account.
Oh, Mario Zoots. Hello. Hi, Mario. Sorry to miss you in Miami. Yes, there is an easy way for you to move over to our collection. We do data imports on a regular basis, and I can certainly talk to you about that after this presentation. Would be wonderful to work together. You know, I'm a huge fan. Also, there was a question if someone could see what the emails look like that we send, for example, sharing to groups of collectors. So if it's okay with you, Elysian, I'll share my screen and I can just show what those look like.
Yeah. And just before you jump into it, for Mario too, when it comes to transferring from other platforms, it happens daily, especially on our organization side, you know, people moving from older platforms, ones that are more expensive, that may not be cloud-based. And so every organization plan, as well as the collector premier plans, have a free data import. So as long as you can get the information out of your current collection management system into a spreadsheet, we can take that spreadsheet and populate your account for you. I see a question coming in. We also have a data import for contacts as well, so that you can populate that CRM. And we have, it's less popular, but we do have an import spreadsheet for location. So if you need to keep track of the addresses and the information about your various locations as well. And so that is a real time saver and a great way to populate your account if you're moving from somewhere else.
So this is what one email would look like. I did not include a message in this email because obviously I just sent it to myself. Collector demo here would be the name of you or your gallery or whoever the account is under. I believe in one of the more recent ones, I did include a message. So you can see what that looks like, maybe. At any rate, when you click into view the private room, if there is a password, you will be asked for that because I'm already logged in to my account. There was no request for password since I also generated this room, but you can see up here, this shows you that there is indeed a password here. And so you basically see it, it's an interactive web page and really the future of client communications, in my opinion. So
Then I see two questions. Patrick, hello. Such a great question about offering an artwork archive university of type in which we can offer more educational webinars like this one about various features. Spoiler alert, we've been talking about it for a while. We're finally getting our butts in gear and we will hopefully be doing more in 2022. I will say that we are planning, you know, like I can do a webinar on the maintenance report functionality for organizations, or we can do a deeper dive into online exhibitions. So for everyone on the webinar, if there is a particular tool or feature or thing that you would like to learn more about within Artwork Archive, let us know. And so that we can make sure that we are continuing to produce educational resources for you all. I also see a question from Gabriella about the ability to, let me see, I'm reading the question and processing at the same time. The ability to edit the location of an artwork in the same manner as being able to adjust the status rather than clicking into edit into the piece and changing or assign the location. So I'm going to point out two things and perhaps this answers it, or if not, then let's talk further offline and we can find a more seamless way for you to work through your workflow. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. This is great. Awesome questions, everyone. I'm going to go back into tab. I'm going to go find a work. So we do have quick edit here. This is sometimes, again, this is great to do these product releases. It's been around, but for you that may not know it, instead of clicking into a piece, you can click the quick edit, the edit icon, pull up the information about the piece and edit it right here. There's a lot to edit. So location is not located here. I'll bring it up to the team that perhaps it would be great to have it within this quick edit. You can also click into the piece, which I think you were trying to avoid. But if you click into the piece and click this button, assign to new location, it's very easy for you to move the piece. So perhaps it's going to storage, or it's going off, it's on loan to another location. You can enter that information right here from the artwork record, save it. Another time saver that surprises a lot of people within our demos. If I click into, let's call it the storage facility, and we have a new donation from a donor, and she's very generous, and they are sending over 10 artworks. You can quickly, but they are going to storage first before you install them. You can quickly add all 10 of those artworks by going to manage inventory, add inventory. Perhaps you have a start date, you know they are going to be delivered tomorrow. You can assign a sublocation, so maybe they are all flat files, so they're going into a drawer, and they're coming from a particular donor, so you can pull up all the artworks from Jack. And when you add these pieces, then they will automatically then be assigned to your storage facility. They will be there. So this is a great way to move inventory in bulk as artwork tends to move around our collections. All right. Any other questions that have been coming in, Emily, as I was talking?
I don't believe so. I think we covered most of them. Marty, your question about a portfolio grouping, I believe is very likely possible under an artist account. And actually we'll be doing an artist recap end of year webinar bonanza, I believe a week from today, right? So you could actually tune in next week. That one is just for artists. It sounds to me like that is the account that is best for you. But otherwise, no, it looks like,
yeah, the webinar, it's part of the Thrive series. So that's next Tuesday, and feel free to contact us if you don't have an invite. We sent it out in the newsletter to all of our artists, clients, free trial, and newsletter readers. This webinar was for those that manage art collections. So at Artwork Archive, it's wonderful, but sometimes it can be a little confusing. We have artists users, we have collector users, and we have organization users. So we want to make sure that we are serving everyone. And so this webinar is the first of hopefully many of the art of collection management with Artwork Archive, in which we will cover best practices, various features and tools within Artwork Archive so that you can get the most out of your Artwork Archive account. And with that, just one last plug, if there are any other features or things that you would love to see in the platform, please let us know here, or you can contact us at team@artworkarchive.com. Is it possible to get alerts for messages in our inbox? So yeah, I believe that you already, every time a message comes into your Artwork Archive inbox from the public profile or from one of your embeds, you will get an email notification. You will get an email letting you know that you have received a purchase request. And that email goes to the admin for the account, so the primary admin. And if you're not getting them and you're the primary admin, let us know. Okay, I thought we were going to go over time, so that probably means I missed something. But it was really great to see you all on the webinar. Emily, thank you. So actually, another great addition to Artwork Archive is Emily. Emily joined us in 2021. So we're so lucky to have you, Emily, as part of the team. We are so lucky to have you all on the webinar as part of Artwork Archive. And yeah, please stay in touch. I will be sending out this recording and the slides most likely tomorrow, because we have to get the recording done. But yeah, please stay in touch and have a wonderful end to your 2021 and have a wonderful start to your 2022 just around the corner.